So to get started, we're going to begin with a lateral neck stretch. It's going to stretch our trapezius and just kind of open up this section that, if you're sitting at a desk all day, your shoulders might tend to rise up. You'll get some knots in there. So the way that we're going to do this exercise is we're going to take one hand, put it on the other side of our head, and pull down, and then take the other hand and put it out so we can create some tension. And we're just going to want to hold this for about 30 seconds. Just remembering to breathe. You want to keep breathing the entire time. And you want to have a gentle pull on your neck. And throughout this exercise, you want to think about pulling your opposite shoulder down of the hand that's out to the side to create some distance between your neck and your shoulder. Keep breathing. Okay, and we're probably going to want to switch soon. I already lost count. I never actually started my timer, so we're just going to go ahead and switch. And we're going to switch to the other side. Right hand on your head, pull down, left hand out, creating space between the shoulder and the neck. And you want to keep breathing. And then keep holding this. Got about 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Okay, so now the next exercise that we're going to do is going to get our neck moving in a lateral plane. We're just going to want to take one hand, put it on our chin, and kind of push our head in the direction of our hand. And we're going to feel this stretch go all the way down the side of our neck here in the front. And we're going to hold this for, again, 30 seconds. And we're going to just keep breathing. And just like before, with that opposite hand, keep your shoulder down and create space. Keep breathing. Okay, and that's about 30 seconds. We're going to go ahead and switch sides. So take your right hand, put it on the left side of your chin, and push to the right. And you're just going to push and drop that other shoulder down, that left shoulder. You want to act as if you're breathing into the muscles that you're stretching. It's a little weird, it's a little abstract, but it does help. All right, that's going to be 30, a little more than 30. Okay, so now we're going to want to introduce some movement into our spine, and the way that we're going to do that is by doing a seated back stretch, a back bend. So pretty much what we're going to do is we're going to start on our left side, and we're going to take our left hand, put it down on the floor, and think about dropping our left shoulder down to the floor while lifting our right shoulder up. Thinking about twisting your spine. And we're just going to hold this for time. We're going to hold this for about 30 seconds. Keep breathing. If you want to make it a little harder, you can bring your right arm up and over like this. And point it to the left in the direction of the stretch. And just remember to keep breathing. Okay, we're gonna get ready to switch sides now, and we're gonna come up back into the middle, and we're gonna go to the right side. So put your right hand on your mat, drop your right shoulder down, lift your left shoulder up and bend. And we're gonna hold this for about 30 seconds again. And if you want to make it a little bit harder, bring your left arm up over your head and point it to the right. And keep breathing. Okay, and we're gonna come back to the center and find our breath. Okay, and from those side bends, we're gonna go ahead and go into a downward dog stretch. And here you're going to want to push up with your shoulders and kind of walk your calves in and out. We want to get some movement in our calves while we can. Okay, and now we're going to come forward into a cobra stretch. So drop your hips down to your mat, push up with your arms and your shoulders, and just let gravity pull your hips down. If you want, you can get some twists. You can look over each shoulder to move the stretch into the sides of your abs and your hip flexors. Gonna hold this. And now we're gonna go into a pretty simple shoulder mobility drill. So we're gonna lay on our back. And these are called floor slides. So what we're pretty much gonna do is we're gonna lay down. If you have enough space in your apartment, might have to lay diagonal. We're gonna lay down, making sure that our lower back is making contact with the floor. We're going to put our two arms out at 90 degrees. And pretty much what this is going to be, we're just going to work on moving our arms up over our head without losing contact with the floor in our lower back. And we're going to come back down to that 90-degree angle. So we're going to do 6 reps of that, and then on the 6th rep, we're going to hold this bottom section, this bottom position for about 10 seconds. So let's go ahead and start. One, two, three, 4, 5, making sure not to lose contact with your lower back on the floor. You don't want to arch your back. And that's 6, and now we're going to hold this for 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now we can come back up into that cobra position. Drop our hips down onto the mat. You don't want to have any activity in your hips. You just want gravity to pull them down into the mat. And we're going to do this before we go into our second set of floor slides. Just keep breathing in this position. And now we're going to go back on to position of laying on the floor, diagonal if you have to. Put your arms out to 90 degrees. Make sure your lower back is making contact with the floor. And you're going to want to move your arms up. And we're going to do this for 6 reps again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more, and then we're going to hold. And 6. Hold this position. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. And now we're going to come back into a seated position, and we're going to go into a sort of chest opening position. And what that's going to be is you're going to put both of your hands behind you, a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. You want your knees bent, and you want to stick your chest up and rock your butt towards your feet, all while pushing into the ground with your shoulders. You're going to start to feel this in your pecs, and you might feel it in your biceps a little bit. We're going to go ahead and hold this for 30 seconds. Just keep breathing. You know, it might feel tight, it might not feel the most comfortable. Just sit there breathing, don't move. And then the more breaths you take, you'll feel the tension in your muscles release, and you might be able to rock your butt a little bit closer to your heels and maintain that upward pressure through your hands into the ground. And just keep breathing. Okay, and that's about 30. And now we're gonna move into a puppy pose. So we're going to come back like we're going into a child's pose, but we're not gonna go all the way down. You don't want your butt touching your heels. And you want to pull your sternum up into you towards the ceiling. We're gonna hold this for about 30 seconds. And now what we can do is from here, we can think about sinking our sternum towards the ground. So sink that down, breathe, and pull it back up towards the ceiling. Okay, and that's about 30. So this next position is going to be another spinal twist, a little spine mobilization. So pretty much what we're gonna do, it's gonna be super simple. You're gonna put both your hands on the back of your head, and we're gonna wanna generate a twist from our spine. We don't want it to come from our shoulders. We don't want it to come from our hands. We wanna generate a twist from our spine. We're gonna go that way, then we're gonna go this way, and we're going to just repeat that for 30 to 45 seconds. So here we go. Rotate your sternum to the left. You're gonna feel some tension in the upper back. And then we're gonna rotate back. And we're just gonna keep alternating our breaths as we twist. Remembering to generate the twist from your spine and not from your shoulders. You don't want to go like this. You want to make sure you're turning your whole upper body as one piece. Okay, and I think that's about time at this point. We're going to move into our next pose, which is going to be a 90-90 pivot. So pretty much what this is going to be is you're going to take your knees, you're going to bend them out in front of you at around shoulder width. You can support yourself behind you with your hands, and we're going to drop each leg to one side. Your legs are going to want to make a 90-degree angle here. your shin with your upper leg on both legs, and you're going to want to keep your sternum facing forward. And we're just going to alternate back and forth for about 20 seconds, 30 seconds. This one feels really good to just go back and forth with when you've been sitting all day. And this is great to prime your hips for some deeper mobility work. The key here is to keep your sternum facing forward when you twist. You don't want it to point in the direction that you're dropping your knees. This way we'll get our hips internally and externally rotated by keeping our sternum facing forward. And we're just gonna go slow. Okay, and that's about time, so you can do your last rep. Okay, and we're gonna come back into a butterfly position here in the center, which is pretty much just, you're gonna sit on your butt, you're gonna put your feet in front of you together, and try and get your knees as low towards the ground as possible. It's okay if you're up here. This is a tight position for a lot of people, whether or not it's a lack of external rotation in your hips or tight adductors. Completely fine. So just go to where is comfortable for you. And what we're going to focus on here is not rounding our back. We want to suck our pelvis forward and try and act like we have a flat back. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see it a little bit better. But if I'm here, we don't want to do this. We're not really getting much of a stretch. We want to make ourselves tall, and then we're going to go ahead and fold forward as much as comfortable. You know, if you're up here and this is comfortable for you, then stay here. But if you feel like you want a little bit more of an intense stretch, we're going to lean forward a little bit. And we're going to hold this for 45 seconds. You're just going to keep breathing in this position. Keep breathing, and of course, as the stretch begins to dissipate, as you relax into the position, you can push yourself a little bit further. Don't push yourself to the point of pain. It should just be a mild discomfort. We don't ever want to stretch to the point of pain. We're gonna hold this for another 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so this next drill that we're gonna do is really gonna target our hip internal rotation, which is something that I personally struggle with and is something that I've been really trying to work on. So this is going to be a pretty simple drill. We're gonna get into a prone position, laying on our stomach. And for this one, if you feel like you want to make it easier, you could always put a yoga block in between your two knees. But if not, if you don't have a yoga block, we're just going to go ahead and bend our knees and bring them narrower than shoulder width. We're going to flex our feet and let our feet drop outwards. And we're just going to want to feel them dropping out. This is a really awkward position. It's going to feel crazy, but this is going to help you get that hip internal rotation. And we're going to hold this for 30 seconds. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so now we can come back onto our mat in the center. We're going to get into some hip flexor stretching. So what we're going to do is we're going to get into a lunge position. It's not going to be anything too wide, just a normal lunge. We're gonna start with our right foot forward and about this wide. It doesn't have to be all the way out here. It can be like this. And the way that we're going to really focus our stretch on our hip flexors is by squeezing the cheek of the side that we want to stretch. So if you want to stretch your left side, you're going to squeeze your left butt cheek. And we're going to think about dropping that hip down towards the ground. So we're going to do this. We're going to pulse in and out for 6 reps. And then we're going to hold the last rep for 10 seconds. So like this, we're gonna go in, squeeze your cheek, come back out, that was 1. And this entire time you wanna think about tucking your pelvis forward. You don't wanna arch your back, you want to tuck, like suck your butt in and forward. That's 3, 4, 5, and we're gonna go into this last rep now. So we're gonna hold this. And now I want you to squeeze that left cheek, maintain pressure on that. And now act like you're going to pull your left knee forward in front of you. Don't actually do it, but just make like you're going to and contract the muscles and breathe. And I want you to let go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go deeper into your stretch. And keep squeezing. Okay, and now we're gonna go ahead and switch sides. Put your left foot forward. Right foot back, right knee. And again, we're gonna pulse 6 times. Squeezing that right cheek, bringing our pelvis forward and back, forward, back. Remember to breathe. We're gonna do one more, hold it. Okay, and now make like you're pulling that knee forward, sliding it forward and squeeze, breathe. 5, 4, 3, and go deeper into the stretch. Awesome. Okay, so we're gonna do just kind of like a warm-up exercise to prime our sciatic nerve to allow us to do our forward fold stretching later in the routine. So the way we're gonna do this is we're gonna go ahead and lay on our back. And we're gonna start with our right leg. We're gonna go ahead and lace our fingers around our right knee here. I'm gonna bend it. And we're gonna do, this is gonna be a pretty high rep exercise. We're gonna do about 20 reps of just essentially straightening this leg. But when we do it, the most important part to remember is we're going to flex and point our toes. This is gonna get that nerve flossing movement and feeling and added into the stretch. So when we're going to go ahead and straighten our leg, we're gonna point our toes to the sky, straighten, and pull our leg towards us, not too much. And then when we're ready to go down, point your toes towards the sky and bring your leg back down and bend it. We're gonna do that for 20 reps. So that was 1. We're just gonna keep flossing that out and keep breathing. And if you can't straighten your leg all the way, if it's too uncomfortable, that is completely fine. Go to where you feel comfortable. Don't ever stretch to a point of pain. It's probably what, like 7 at this point? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And you might feel a burn start in your quads, and that is completely fine. But now we're gonna go ahead and switch legs. So bend that left leg, wrap your hands behind it on your hamstring. And again, we're gonna lead with the toe pointing to the sky. Point your toes to the sky, straighten the leg. Point your toes to the sky, bend the leg. We're gonna do this for 20 reps, remembering to breathe. This might feel nervy. If you haven't done this ever, or if you haven't done it in a while, you might feel some, kind of pinpricks in your toes, kind of a nervy feeling. It shouldn't be painful. It's just a different sensation. This is normal, and it should dissipate. Twelve, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Awesome. And now let's just get into a downward dog quickly before we go into our next movement. Okay, so now in this next movement, we're going to stand at the end of our mat, and we're pretty much going to be alternating between a half squat and a forward fold. This movement is going to allow us to use our hip flexors and quads to pull ourselves down deeper into our forward fold. And if you can't touch your feet normally, if it's a little bit out of your range, you can go ahead and grab a yoga block and put your hands on that to make this a little bit easier. But for now, I'm just going to use the floor. What we're going to do is we're going to bend at the knees slightly, and then we're going to rest our belly on our knees here. You want to have as little bit of a gap between your quads here and your belly. And we're going to go ahead and touch the floor. And now what we're going to do is we're going to push into the floor with our hands and straighten our legs as much as we can, as much as comfortable. Hold it and then come back down and bend. And when you straighten your legs, you want to try and maintain connection between the stomach and your upper thighs. You don't want to lose that connection. So straighten as much as allows you to keep that contact. Okay, so we're going to go again. 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to go for 15 reps. 6. Remembering to breathe. 7, 8, 9, 10. And we're going to hold the 15th rep for 10 seconds. 13, 14. Now straighten and hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can roll up. Now we're going to go back into a downward dog. We're going to go here and just kind of walk your calves out. We're gonna do this before we get into some pancake forward fold movement. So now the last big position that we're gonna hit is going to be our pancake forward fold. As with the pike position we just did, the squat to pike, if you can't sit in a position like this comfortably, leaning forward, then I would suggest you get a yoga block and put it underneath your butt, and that allows you to kind of get deeper into this range of motion if you don't have the mobility right now. But I don't have a yoga block right now, so we're gonna go ahead and just use the floor. But what this is going to be, this next exercise, is it's going to be similar to the forward fold we just did, where we do X amount of reps and then hold the last one. In this case, it's going to be a pancake good morning, which is pretty much going to teach us to hinge at the hips. Pretty much the way you're going to do that is you're going to put your hands behind your head. You're going to activate your quads and squeeze, and we're going to drop our chest forward towards the ground as far as we can. If it's up here, that's completely fine. And then come back up. And we're going to do that for 10 reps, and we're going to hold the 10th rep for about 10 to 15 seconds. So let's get started. Squeeze your quads, hinge forward, breathe, and come back out. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now with this 10th one, we're gonna hold 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come out of it. And now we're gonna go into a cobra pose just to kind of shake that out. These pancake good mornings are definitely something that they suck. They're hard. But they truly, when I started doing them, they helped my pancake forward fold a ton. So this is something that, you know, the more often you can do it with proper form, the better gains you're gonna get. So yeah, I hope you like this exercise, but we're gonna go back into that pancake position. And now, so for this second set, we're going to want to try and get a little bit deeper in our range. Nothing crazy. Don't split your pants or anything, but we're gonna do another 10 reps just like we did. And then we're gonna finish out in a chill pose, and then that's about it. So let's get our hands behind our head, squeeze those quads, breathe and drop down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, forward, and 10. We're gonna hold this for 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come out of it. Nice job. That was pretty tough. So let's go ahead and finish in a chill position. We're gonna go ahead and grab a pillow or a yoga block if you have one. And we're going to put this under the middle of our back, kind of open our chest here a little bit. You can butterfly your legs out to open up your hips, and we're going to hold this for about a minute. This is going to be our last pose, so you can hold it for a little bit longer if you feel like you want to, just to kind of chill out and relax. Close your eyes, focus on your breathing, and slow everything down. Remember to find your breath. Okay, and that's been about a minute. And that is the full body flexibility mobility routine. I hope that didn't take too long, but thanks for joining me. And yeah, keep coming back. You could do this multiple times a week and you'll see some pretty good benefits in all those points that we hit. But yeah, thanks for being here. I'll see you next time.